originally this was supposed to be just a birthday present for my dad, or Christmas present for my dad, really, because I wanted to tell this story for a long time. And it turned out that as we started to see the dailies come back and the story was developed, there was so much more to tell, and there was so much more backstory that could be developed about why these men went through these things. And I think that the thing that emerged is not necessarily just the battle, which primarily the story, the original short story, was about, and getting through that, but there's so much more backstory about the hope that was lost and kept, and that got these people through that, especially my father. So it just begged to be expanded on, and several people asked me, why don't there's so much more to do, so it was like, yeah. And I mean, my brother and I obviously saw that, and so we expanded the picture, and decided to turn it into a feature.
I've been promised 5 times that no more pages would be written, and then been delivered 10 more pages. So it's a bit of a relief that it's finally done. It stopped growing. It's like a baby that just would not stop growing.
As the thing, like I'm not sure there really was ever a decision to make it into a feature. I think it just sort of took on a life of its own, and it was kind of like Christine. It just sort of took control of the people around it and bent them to its will, and recreated itself as a feature. So pages kept appearing magically, and weekend shoots kept appearing magically, and as we continued working on it, it began to look more and more like a feature. So, which I think is great, because initially, what are you going to do with a 43-minute short film? Well, what's the venue for a piece like that? So obviously, it should have always been a feature, and with such great material, there was so much to work with. It should have been that at the outset.
You just start doing more and more and more and more, and next thing you know, you're being told, we're making you an associate producer, and you're still doing more and more and more and more and more, and next thing you're being told, now you're a co-producer. Okay, what's that mean? So no, it's fun, it's rewarding, and it's been a learning experience for me, because I'm learning other facets of the industry and the business that I haven't necessarily worked in before, and it's fun. Primarily,
The things that have changed, basically the short story is the same. I mean, the battle sequences and what they dealt with in that arena is the same. We may have changed some dialogue to have it work better with the expanded backstory, with things that we were revealing to the viewer and things like that. But primarily that's the same. We brought in some other characters. We've expanded on my mom's part in it, or the person that plays my mother, when my dad and her met prior to him going to the war. So we've expanded that backstory to let you know the characters a little bit better.
So because this shoot stretched out over so long, I think we're coming up on 2 years. There were a number of days where I couldn't be there, or family and other work obligations pulled me away, and so there's a lot of really great additional cinematography by Greg Schmidt and John Campbell and TJ Sivis, and it was really glad to have all those guys jump in.
I think in the end it's going to be fabulous. It's going to be great. Not easy getting here. Certainly not a short trip, but one well worth experiencing. But come hell or high water, the next one, 30-day schedule, we're done.